The Boss in the Sauce Show.
Boss in the Sauce Show.
Boss in the Sauce Show.
Boss in the Sauce Show. Here we go.
What up, now? It is Friday. Happy Friday to everybody out there. Happy shout outs to the people that's already in the show. They're building, showing up now. I'm gonna reach out to Twitter, letting a couple more people know. Why, my man? We back at it. Friday night on the West Coast. A little hot. Okay, a little hot. Not too bad. We still getting some Cali love out of it. But how you feeling today, my buddy?
Oh, we're good, boss. Just looking forward to it, man. I mean, we're about 9 days away, or eight, I should say, 8 days away from the start of college football. We're going to get a great, probably one of the best week 0 games we're ever going to see in Kansas State and Iowa State. I wish it wasn't in Ireland. I wish it was one of these stadiums, but it is going to be interesting and it's going to be a good game. So I'm looking forward to it. And speaking of them, we're talking about the Big 12 today. So I love breaking down this conference. I don't think I had a better time breaking down a conference like the Big 12 itself. It seemed like I had a smile on my face while I was breaking down this conference. That's how much I liked it, and I liked all the talent that they're bringing in from the outside, from the Power 4 conferences, just like a lot of the things they're doing over there. And I think we're going to see some good things from the Big 12 that we haven't seen in the past. So I'm looking forward to getting to it with you, boss.
Absolutely, man. Big 12. Not one of my favorites, but I do play the Big 12. I like BYU going over there last year. I like the teams that went over there. But let's jump right into it, man. Baylor Bears, man. Baylor Bears expected to have a great season this year. Dave Aranza over here last year was 8-5. He's in his 6th year. He returns 10 on offense and 8 on defense, which is huge. And the thing here is Aranza really has the team. So then, the school and everything, the GM, they making moves towards the NIL. So he's getting everything he wants right here. But in your 6th year, it's time to bring everything and the kitchen sink to the battle. I'm not really impressed. The quarterback, Sawyer Robertson, the returner, that's always great with a big group. I mean, what do you expect with 10 returning on offense? 8-5 last year doesn't say much to me, especially even as the Big 12 was last year, And last year they got this conference all wrong, right? They had Arizona State at the bottom and Arizona State in the championship. So he's got everybody buying in. He's got the returners. I see everything that everybody sees. I read all the magazines and I listened to all the podcasts and all that stuff. And I'm still not totally impressed about Baylor. It might just be the team itself, the school itself. I mean, Waco, Texas, is not the best place in the world to go hang out. So you never know. Some of these teams just kind of become stagnant through the years. They have ups and downs, but they never really get over the top. I don't see them getting over the top. Big 12 championship, no. But I do expect them to win the game. But guess what? The proof is in the pudding. They got to put it all on the line in game 1, and we'll know exactly what kind of Baylor Bear team we. What you think about these Baylor Bears, Why?
Yeah, this is an interesting team here, boss. I like this Baylor team going into the season. In fact, it was the first bet I gave out on Twitter, actually. Gave out the Baylor Bears at +3, -125, and the over 56.5 at -110. It's got up to about a 57.5 now, currently sitting. I do think it'll get up to probably about a 58.5 before game time. And we saw Baylor go from a +2.5, +3 to a favorite at one point. And in this last week, we're seeing this line come back down to around a +2, which is really interesting. I like this Baylor Bears team. I like that they brought in the slot receiver from Bama and Kobe Prentons. I think this guy's really explosive with the ball in his hands. And I think Baylor's just it's a good spot for him. We're going to see a lot of screen passes to him. And I expect him to do pretty well this season. I like Robertson Sawyer too, or Sawyer Robertson. This guy's got a lot of experience. This guy's an older dude. He's got good size for the position as well. And I like that they brought it back a lot of their offensive line. David Aranda has this program heading in the right direction, coming off an 8-4 season. And he just wants to get better. I like. They also returned their wide receiver Josh Cameron last year, who had 754 yards, 10 touchdowns. Ashton Hawkins, 567 yards, 5 touchdowns. I like this wide receiver room. I think it could be one of the best, not only in the Big 12, but in the country, boss. I think these 3 guys right now that they have in this wide receiving room, especially guys that are going to play a lot of snaps, this is going to be a wide receiving core that's going to go under the radar until we're about halfway through the season. And these guys have some really good numbers, and we're like, what the heck is crazy? They returned a really good running back duo in Bryson Washington and Dawson Pendergrass, who are both coming off a combined 1,800 yards from last year. They're going to share the backfield. They have a pretty deep defensive line and edge rushers. The linebacker room is also very deep and experienced. I like this Baylor team, and I think they're heading in the right direction. I think this team could potentially compete for a Big 12 title, and I think that they beat Auburn outright in Baylor, in Waco, Texas, week 1, Friday night on Fox. This game's going to be a fun one, boss. I'm going to have to go live for this one. This is a good. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I think the line is like 2.5 or 2 or something like that.
Now it's at 2. Yeah, it's around 2 right now.
So everybody's waiting for those SEC bettors to come in. They're going to come in late, and hopefully get it up to a 3 or something like that. People spectate. Me, it's not a game I really want to play on. I just want to watch. But yeah, that's pretty awesome with this Baylor team, and the schedule is pretty favorable. But I mean, you could just about look at any schedule in the Big 12 and kind of say it could be favorable. If they beat Auburn, that's gonna say that they're this good. And if Arizona State doesn't come out to be the team that they think they can be, and they would just be facing like Utah. Oklahoma State, I don't expect much out of them. So yeah,
boss. What's interesting is their first 3 out of their 4. Listen to the schedule for them: Auburn, SMU, then they play Samford. You know what I mean? But then they play ASU. Like, what a crazy start! I didn't even think about that. You're playing Auburn, SMU, and Arizona State in their first 4 weeks. It's this. We'll know right away if Baylor's legit.
Yeah, if they make it through that, they might go undefeated.
Yeah,
if they get that good. But everybody's not very high on Arizona State, and everybody's not very high on SMU. Depending on what side of the map you look at that, you may see that something like that. But let's keep it pushing, man. I don't want to hold the people. Where is my chat at? Somebody say something to us in the chat, man. You know what I'm saying?
we got 6 likes up in here, guys. Hit us in the chat.
Yeah,
let us know what you guys think about these.
Let's go. Next up is Utah. Man, I can't remember what's the dude name last year that
Cam Rising.
Cam Rising. Okay, I was totally annoyed at Utah last year with the Cam Rising thing. Each and every week, he's sitting on the edge of your seat to see if the guy will play. The times he played, he didn't play so well. Just all over the place for this team. But Kyle Willingham has bounced back really good off of bad seasons in his career. So I'm expecting a great bounce back from Utah this year. Last year, 5-7, returning 10 on offense, 7 on defense. Perfect spot to rebound for a coach that's been at the same school for a very long time. So with that being said, he also brings in a new offensive coordinator who plans to spread it out, more RPO type scheme.
Yep.
He's going to be changing the scheme. And that's the thing about Utah. I don't even want to speak about the defense because the defense is a systematic defense that they put together each year, and it's very competitive every year. So you can't specifically say it's a player or a coach. It's just something that they do over there well. So I'm gonna take for granted that the defense is going to show up. So with the defense showing up, moving into a more, I would call it more of a West Coast offense, right? Instead of the more ground and pound type game that they did before, which is big for Kyle Willingham. And if it works, oh my God, Utah definitely wins the Big 12. Also, like I said, same thing with them. Schedule looks pretty favorable for them overall, depending on how everything lays out in the beginning. So, yeah, high on Utah. You know what I'm saying? They 18-1, I believe, to win the Big 12 at one point in time. That's what my notes are. But yeah, I like Utah. What you think about Utah? This year, I'm really gonna bet them. get all that Cam Rising stuff we did last year. But this year, I'm really gonna bet.
I mean, this might be one of the best quarterbacks to ever walk on campus in Salt Lake City, Utah, honestly. And you know what I mean? And Devin Dampier, this guy was electric last year at New Mexico. What does Kyle Whittingham do? He brings over the offensive coordinator, and then his OC says, "I'm going to bring my quarterback right over with me." Guys, don't get me wrong. Devin Dampier struggled a little bit throwing the ball at times. At the same time, he's going to be very well protected. This Utah offense, this offensive line looks very good. Kyle Whittingham is coming off a very disappointing season, guys. This guy doesn't ever go 5-7. Utah was expected to win the Big 12 last season. Cam Rising, you know, this, that. He's over there. He's offensive coordinator for his own old high school team now. You know what I mean? We're going to probably see him being a quarterback's coach at one of these higher end programs here in the next couple of years. We saw all the experience he got from the sideline because he for sure didn't play. But with that being said, Devin Dampier comes in from New Mexico. Like everything I've seen from this guy from the eye test, especially, he's just electric on the ground, man. This guy could easily throw for 2,500 yards and go off for maybe 1,000 yards on the ground. If he does, he's a potential Heisman candidate. That's his ceiling. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's what he's going to do, but that's what he could do. It starts week 1 on a Saturday night in Pasadena, California, at the Rose Bowl against UCLA. This is gonna be a big game here between Utah and UCLA. It's gonna set the tone for both of their seasons. Don't get me wrong. I think UCLA's got the better quarterback on their edge, but Devin Dampier, man, he's going to be protected back there. I question his ability to pass the ball against big Power 4 conferences. They also brought in their running back, Nakari Rogers, who's a running back at New Mexico, who was really good last season. He's going to split carries with Wayshawn Parker, who's also really good at Washington State last year. They bring in New Mexico wide receiver Ryan Davis, 747 yards in the slot in 2024. So what does Jason Beck go out and do? He goes out and grabs a bunch of his guys from New Mexico. These guys didn't play at the Power 4 level. It's going to be interesting. They bring back the entire offensive line from 2024. This is a talented unit up front. It's going to be a really good game against UCLA week 1. I think Utah only gets better. There's no way they don't win less than 7 or 8 games, which is an improvement from a 5-7 record last year.
Yeah, exactly. I agree wholeheartedly with the whole thing on Utah. They look really good. But Devin Dampier, Heisman candidate, yes or no?
We'll know after week 1. We'll see what he can do at the Rose Bowl. He could be. He could be a sleeper just because of his legs. He's electric, man.
And that's exactly another reason why I'm not sold with Devin Dampier. I mean, Mendenhall means a lot, you know, even though he was the OC, but Mendenhall seems to install things in players, and that's what they expected him to do at his new school as well. You know, maybe he made him play to a level that maybe he can reach it again, or maybe not. But I don't know. I'm not a big Devin Dampier. I'm not totally so. I'm gonna have to see it on the field. I'm a Mountain West guy, so I watched him at New Mexico State. Yeah. That was like a freaking nature type team when it came to offense. It was like, you know, they did things on offense other teams didn't do. And like you said, with the OC coming over there, maybe that's a great thing for him, and it just matches up and it just runs off well. But if it doesn't match up as well, then we're gonna be saying, oh, this guy's overrated, blah 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 blah. I don't really like that for these kids because they're getting the NIL money and all this. Then they got to deal with all the social media, you know, the FUs and all that different stuff. But yeah, not a big fan on the quarterback situation right here. But I like what they're doing overall. They're in the Big 12. They're a really strong team, a really strong system and roots in the school and everything. And they compete well in the Big 12 this year. I like Utah. So let's keep it rolling, man. Try to get these people out of here. Go have a good party for this Friday night. So we move over here to Iowa State Cyclones right here with Matt Campbell in his 10th year, returning 7 on offense, 6 on defense. Big year last year, 11-3. So, but that's not out of the ordinary for Matt Campbell. Matt Campbell can surprise you in the things he do, and he can disappoint you as well. Rico Beck, some of them love him, some of them not so much. The defense should hold solid here going into this year. Just need a little better pass rush. They get the pass rush going a little bit better, and they'll have to stop playing games in the fourth quarter because this is a team that likes to come back in the fourth quarter. So I don't know. To me, they're more of like a first half fade because they usually find their way in the game in the second half. But also, they've also lost the game in the second half as well. So this team is just too inconsistent to be too high on. But I always wish Matt Campbell the best because I like the way he does things overall. What you thinking about these Iowa State Cyclones?
I like him, boss. Going into week 0, I should say, against Kansas State. When I look at it from an X's and O standpoint, it's Iowa State. I think they're the better team, even though they lost their 2 wide receivers to the NFL draft, and in Higgins and Noel. Both of them went on day 2, second and third round, I believe, and both those guys will probably be starting on NFL rosters. Forgot where they went, but those guys were really talented. I like Rocco Beck, though, coming back, entering, the season. I think Matt Campbell, I think he's one of the better coaches in all of college football. I think the culture that he brings to this program is something you can't really find anymore. And I think he's brought it. And I think that eventually someone's going to offer this guy a lot of money to take over their program and with a lot more resources, and he's going to end up doing it. But for now, he's here in Iowa City. I don't know. I like this Iowa State team going into this year. It's a fishy line week 1, them being a dog against Kansas State and Dublin, Ireland. I love the culture that Campbell brings. I love the DC and John Heacock. This guy's an older guy that's been around pretty much everywhere. He's been with the Iowa State specifically been their DC for 10 plus years now. One of the most longest tenured DCs in the nation right now. Love everything he does. He literally develops NFL talent on the defensive side. I like that they brought back Carson Hansen at running back, 6'2", 220 from Iowa, coming off a 752-yard rushing season with 13 touchdowns. They have an experienced offensive line group who should only get better this year. The secondary does lose Porter to the NFL. They do return the interception leader, who had 4 interceptions and 5 PDs, and Jontez Williams. Watch out for him. That guy's an NFL talent. Also bringing back Dom Orange, defensive tackle, 6'4", 325. This guy probably is going to go either in the first or second round here in the next year's draft. Expect this guy to cause a lot of havoc off that defensive line. This guy's a big boy that can move quick, and he's really strong. I like a lot. I love this Iowa State defense. It's why I'm on the under in week 1 against Kansas State. Under 50 minus 120. I love the spot. I think Iowa State defense is going to show up and they're going to run the heck out of that ball.
I like it. I was looking at that game. I don't like the line either. The total sounds like a better thing. And you got to know, guys, depending on where they're playing, week 1, don't forget about them cramps in the second half. It always seals up a good under from time to time. But let's keep it moving, man. So one of the teams. If you're a sports bettor, you gotta love this guy. One of the youngest coaches in college football, Dillingham. He's for the young guys. He's with the functions and everything, man. I really like this guy, and I like him even more in this spot because they're counting against him. So they're trying to say that since Scadaboo is gone, he's not gonna be able to bounce back and do what he did last year. Scadaboo was telling y'all for the last 6 games of the season that he was one of the most underrated running backs in the league. He was trying to tell you how good he was, and y'all didn't believe it. But now that he's gone, it's going to impact what Dillingham has built at Arizona State. Get out of here, man. This man knows what he's doing. He's coming in here. This is his 3rd year. This is what they call a big boss sweet spot right here. 3rd and 4th year coaches who is bringing back 8 on offense, 9 on defense. Those are the guys I like. You know why I like them? Because when they came into the program, they started setting things up. And they got into the 3rd year, and they got a good group behind them. They instilled everything, and it's their team. And now they're showing you what they got. So I expect big things out of Arizona State this year, despite the loss of Scadaboo. I'm not 100% sold on Sean Levitt, possible Heisman candidate. I mean, come on, guys. You guys don't even like this guy. You don't Sam Levitt, I'm sorry. You guys don't even like this guy like that. So why would you try to put him on a pedestal just to try to say that he failed later on? But Dillingham is a player's coach, and he should have these guys at the right temperature. Now, I could be totally wrong. If the NIL and the money and the things that they're doing over there has created campus vibe that's not going to sustain winning a lot of games. But if you leave it in the hands of the man that's taking care of everything and everything goes great, we're looking at a team that may be right back to the Big 12 championship. What you think?
I'm right there with you. I mean, they bring back Jordan Tyson, who probably could have left for the NFL last year as a redshirt sophomore. This guy is one of the best receivers, in not just the Big 12, but in the country. We saw what he did last year with Sam Levitt at the helm. Sam Levitt, yeah, getting a lot of hype going into this season, as he should. We're going to probably see him in the system for a couple more years. There's no way he leaves for the NFL this early, although he could if he does go off. I mean, I like what they did, boss. They brought in Kanye Udo from Army. This guy coming off 1,100-yard season at Army last year. This is a bigger back at 6'1", 225. Not quite as big and physical as Cam Scatabo, but this guy is big and physical. He went to Army. You know what this guy's built for. You know this guy. His training regimen is probably insane. And the fact that Dillingham saw this guy and said, I want to pair him up with Kyson Brown from last year, who's the running back to Cam Scatabo. And this guy is going to probably get 20 to 25 carries a game. It's just if he can compete at the Big 12 level is the big question. It is a big step up coming from Army, don't get me wrong. But I think Dillingham knows what he's doing. We've seen him. This guy was coaching the JV team as a senior in high school at his high school team. His high school football coach is his special teams coordinator. This guy he continues to do everything right, and I think he's the future of what college football is. I think what he is doing for this program and what he's building is the blueprint to what everyone should be doing. Kenny Dillingham's the youngest coach in Big 12 history, and he took him to the college football playoff last year. Just absolutely impressive. You can't get much better than that, boss. Could they get to the college football playoff again? Absolutely. I don't think they do, which is crazy because I do like this ASU team. If they get better, I mean, this team could win a national championship. It's crazy because Cam Scatterberg did so much for them. Can Kanye Udoff have a big season for this team? They return a lot of guys on defense. Dillingham didn't really have to hit the portal. He didn't really have to replace guys. Guys wanted to stay there. You guys watch where they practice in the offseason on their fall camp. It's absolutely insane in the Ozarks. I'm not sure if that's actually in Arizona, but I'm seeing them I'm like, is there Ozarks in Arizona? I don't know. But they're like in the middle of the forest, like in the off grid. Dillingham doing everything right, man. I love this team. I don't know if they can get better than last year. I wouldn't be surprised though.
Let me give a quick shout to the chat. Our man Moose Money Bets. Moose, if you want to hop in, you can hop in for sure. Just let us know. We'll send you the link. And our man Andrew G is in there. And my man Big Show says, not much, man. Watching PFL with no bets. How you watching with no bets, man? You all right, Big Show. But let me get my final sales pitch for you on jumping. I know you're on this Arizona State, but you said not back to the playoffs, maybe not. Let's talk about the defense, right? You got a defense that's going to go from good to dominant. They've got a taste of playing teams at a high level in a high time, and they wasn't no punks. They didn't have no holes or no leaks, or they did have to come back in one of the games. But the defense, they should get a notch better than last year, which it's gonna make an Arizona State team look like they should be in the Big Ten or SEC instead of the Big 12. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. And I love it. My man Moose Money says defense should be solid. Question is, what's the offense going to look like? Exactly. Copy and paste, insert Udo. Yeah. Downgrade, and Levitt ain't that type of passer to move the offense and pass guy. Yep. You right there with us, Moose. I forgot to hit you up today. We had a late start and everything, but hey man, you can hit me too at any time. You're always welcome to come hang out with us on the show, man. We love your breakdowns. We love your input. We love your vibe on the show with us, man. So yeah, shout out to my man Moose. Shout out to my man Andrew G. Andrew G, you was the first one in the chat today, man. I'm gonna send you the Who-Bangin email. Email me your shirt size and your address, and let me get a shirt out to you, Andrew. We appreciate you, brother. But let's keep it moving, man. Next team up, Kansas State. Now, Kansas State is a team I don't know, year in, year out, I don't get the full gist of them. Chris Klein, 7th year, last year 9-4, returning 5 on offense, 5 on defense. I don't really have nothing against this team, but I don't really have nothing that I'm thriving off of this team. I like what you said in that first week about the under, but because the under looks good on the Kansas State tie too. But when it comes to the number and the side, something just looks fishy. Like I don't know, maybe somebody's not going to step to the table in that game. But yeah, I see the defense has a lot of potential. The quarterback, Avery Johnson's potential superstar, we'll see. And all of the other critical stuff that's going on the team is fixable stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just tightening down on the penalties, the mistakes, and turning over the ball, that kind of stuff. But I don't know. Another one of those teams, like how fun is it to play for Kansas State? What's life like out there as a Kansas State athlete? That could define why their potential. But let's say that could define why a 94 10-win season is like going to the playoffs for the organization. But I don't know. I'm not very high on it. Somebody sell me into Kansas State because I can't do nothing with it.
Yeah, I can't, boss. Don't get me wrong. I think this Kansas State team could probably win 6 to 8 games this season, but I think it's probably going to be around that 7-game mark. Avery Johnson returned as quarterback 1 for year 2. Going into, he took, old Billy Howard's job, who left for Ohio State, who's now playing for the Steelers, forced him out of Kansas State as a true freshman. This guy, he's dynamic on the ground. I just question his throwing. I still have to look at some tape on Avery Johnson, but he's a good runner, but I just question his arm. They do grab wide receiver Jaron Thibbs from Purdue, who has a lot of upside, bring in 3 other wide receivers, including wide receiver from ECU, Chase Sowell, coming off 675 yards in 2024. They do return wide receiver 1 in Jace Brown, who is Avery's favorite target, coming off a 823-yard season at the slot position. They returned Dylan Edwards, who was really good in 2024. This guy should have a big year, and I think he's going to get used a lot in the Iowa State game. I think we're going to see at least 20 carries out of him right off the bat. They bring in safety Gunnar Maldonado from Arizona. Also bring back 2 sophomores at cornerback, and Donovan McIntosh and Zayshawn Rich, who both played a good amount as true freshmen behind guys that got drafted last year and have looked very impressive throughout fall camp for Kansas State. They also returned both their linebackers in Austin Romaine and Desmond Purnell. I like this Kansas State team. I don't know how much I like them, and I don't know how much I'll be on them. I do think that they are the right side in week 1 sideways, because I think the books are telling us that they're a favorite for a reason. But it's also weird. They're ranked ahead of Iowa State right now, which has me really questioning a couple of things. Is the AP that off? Because when I look at this from the outside in, I think Iowa State should be ranked higher than Kansas State, and it's off by, I think, 4 or 5 notches. Doesn't make a lot of sense for me. I know Kansas State won 9 games somehow last year. Still don't know how they did that, but I'm not high on this Kansas State team. I think they don't do as well as they do last year. But at the same time, I don't think they have a bad year. I think they can win 6 or 7 games this year. And I think if Iowa State loses this game, Iowa State can still win 10 games this season because their schedule plans for that. So it's going to be a good game week 0. But Kansas State, I don't know, boss. This won't be a team I'm backing a lot this year.
My man Moose Money in the chat says Walmart Diamonds. Kansas State is like Walmart Diamonds. He could have hit it on the nail better right there, man. Shout out to our guy Razor Sharp Picks.
Razor Sharp.
Shout out to everybody in here as well. Shout out to my man Big Show, and shout out to my man Moose and my man Andrew. Let's keep it rolling, man. We get some people showing up here and there. We got a lot of ways to go. Let's keep it moving though. Texas Tech. This got to be one of the most hyped teams in the Big 12 right now. They just juiced up. New stadium. School buys in, tosses a bunch of money out there for NIL. Just everything. It's got so bad over there for Joey McGuire. The expectation is like playoff right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Playoff type champion stuff. So they way crazy over there. New DC over there. That's always been a Achilles heel for Texas Tech is that defense, man. I mean, everybody loves Patrick Mahomes, but nobody has nothing to say about him when he was at Texas Tech because it never. I mean, he had to score a lot and everything because the defense just never was there. But new stadium, new money, same coach, fourth year, big boss special here. Fourth year coach returning 10 on offense, 11 on defense. Last year was 8-5. And I said the expectation is out the room, but this is Texas football. I had to get my boys from Brothers and Bets over here, let y'all know about that Texas football. This is Texas
Yep.
football, which also to me sometimes mean they just be canceling each other out when they have to play each other during the season. But
Yeah.
Texas Tech, I mean, if I had to put a dark horse in for the conference, this would definitely I would put in Arizona State because they doubt them. But this team would be a team I would put in as a dark horse because they have a lot of things lined up in the right direction. But too many moving parts on me. Like you can't just come in and throw all kinds of shit in the pot and just make instant success. You got to let it cook. You gotta let it smother. You gotta let it. You gotta do what it do. You know what I'm saying? And I don't see them doing what it do this first year, but maybe they make a impactful impact. And maybe coming in next year, we could look at Texas Tech as a team like, man, they might be on their way to the playoffs. Definitely winning the Big 12 championship, stuff like that. But I could see them this year for sure getting in the Big 12 championship. That's got to be a goal because there's winnable games on the schedule for sure. So does he go past that 8-5 this year? Absolutely. But how far past? I don't know. What you got on Texas Tech over here, Wayne? Why?
I don't. This Texas Tech team, boss, should make the playoffs this season. I look at the schedule from the outside in. Do they have maybe one loss, boss? I mean, who are they going to lose to? Their non conference schedule is pretty weak considering Oregon State's the best team they play, and it's in Lubbock, Texas, one of the most hostile environments in college football and college basketball. No one wants to play in Lubbock. These guys, they go nuts out there, man. It's a place I need to get out to. I really want to go to a game in Lubbock, Texas here soon. Outside of that, does Texas Tech lose in Utah week 4? Maybe. Outside of that, do they lose to ASU in Arizona the week before Halloween? Maybe. Do they lose in Kansas State? I don't think so. I think they're better than Kansas State. I have Texas Tech maybe losing to Utah and maybe losing to Arizona State. I think those are the two toughest teams they have on their schedule. And if they lose those two games, they go 10-2. They still probably make the Big 12 championship. And if they win that Big 12 title game, I don't even know if they're going to need to win that Big 12 title game to get in there as a 10-win team from the Big 12. I think the Big 12 is going to prove a couple things this season. And Texas Tech, maybe they win 11 games, boss. I know it's kind of crazy to say. Their win total right now, 8.5 minus 165 to the over. This is an over spot. Like, there's no way they don't win at least 9 games. I think 10 games is an absolute minimal. This team has so many things going in their right direction. They have the NIL money. Joey McGuire, he needs to. They're coming off an 8-4 season. This offense can score some more. They have spent a lot of money in this offseason. The portal, they return Morton, who's coming off a very impressive 2024 season. They grab true sophomore running back in Quentin Joyner, who was their RB2 as a freshman at USC last year. This kid's ultra talented. I'm surprised he left, but I'm guessing Texas Tech absolutely offered him a bag to go there. Return Caleb Douglas, who's a 6'4" wide receiver, 210, big target, coming off an 877-yard and 6 touchdown season last year. I think that this team, the sky's the limit for this team with the money that they have right now and the acquisitions, the pieces that they brought into this program is second to none. I'm high on this Texas Tech team, boss. I think this team probably wins the Big 12 and makes a college football playoff push. We'll see, though. It's they got to prove it to me still in the field. You know what I mean? Joey McGuire has to prove it to me as a coach. I do like him as a coach. He's got the money to do it now. If you got to win 10 games minimal, I think, here for him with the money that they have.
My man Moose in the chat says Morton's too inconsistent. He looks all the world on one drive, then throws a pass that only had defenders going for the ball.
Oh, there's
He's on
Iggs
the other
sizzle on the
side of
house.
things. Yeah, shout out to my man Iggs. Most money say there's also 4-7 versus top 25, 1-1 last year. My man Andrew says Texas Tech spent over 20 million alone in NIL. Yeah, I don't think you can buy your way. I mean, Lane Kiffin has gave you the blueprint, and it doesn't work. You can't just buy your way to whatever. I've heard somebody say if that was the case, Princeton and Yale would have the top athletes and the top teams every year because they have way more money than the rest of the schools. So
Those schools won't let athletes go there that can't pass their academic. That's the
true,
that's the difference.
true,
They'll say no,
true.
yeah.
But if
Too
they
prideful.
decided they just wanted to crash everything up and make money, then they could just
Oh yeah.
you
Are
know
you the
alumni
donors?
and all that.
Can you imagine the donors that Yale
Yeah,
and Dartmouth and these schools have,
yeah.
boss? Like I couldn't even
The
imagine.
astronauts, the scientists, and all that.
Yeah. I mean,
Biochemists.
Texas Tech has these three guys in specific that are literally that sold their oil rig companies for like tens of billions of dollars at the age of 28, like younger than I am. It's crazy. And these guys are the guys that are putting money into the Texas Tech program. These guys are like, you know what I mean? Like that are my age. They're plowing money into this program because they want to see it win. There's not a lot that goes on in Lubbock, Texas, and
Exactly.
they love their athletics. You can be sure on that. That's an atmosphere I want to be around. I got to get to one of those games here.
There we go. Let's keep it rolling though. We're gonna go on over to TCU. My man Sonny Dykes. Now he does not fit the big boss meter. Fourth year coach, returning 6 on offense, 8 on defense. That's like mediocre. But Sonny Dykes did say he didn't even consider too much in the NIL or any of that because he likes his team. He likes the core group that he has. He believes in these guys and all those good things. TCU is a wishy-washy team, point blank for years, anyhow. But going into this year, I think they regressed. They were 9-4 last year. I think this year it doesn't really come together. I'm not sold on Josh Hoover. I'm not sold on them having the deepest defense with Andy Avalos because Andy Avalos coached Boise State all those years, and a lot of people didn't even recognize that his expertise was defense, right? So I don't know how that's going to transfer over to this TCU teams with Sonny Dykes. I mean, I don't know the full history between the two, but maybe they worked together in the past. Or so they need some type of chemistry to make this work. Just putting things together the way they want and thinking it's going to just take off. It might not happen. You know what I'm saying? Here we go, back in Texas, Fort Worth, Texas.
Yep.
More of a little more movement over there in Fort Worth, but still, it's Texas. So I don't know. For some people, you might back the Froghorns, but not too much for me, man. What you thinking?
I don't know this TCU team. I mean, Josh Hoover. You kind of touched on it, boss. It's just I don't know. I think this kid has a really high ceiling. I think that he can pretty much make almost every single throw on the field if he can make it consistently. That's my big thing, and in the big moments is another big thing for me. I think he's a gamer. I think he's a winner. I think that he's coming off a big 2024 season. There's a reason why this guy's Heisman odds are the way they are. It's crazy to see that this guy's like a top 5 at a Heisman odds right now. That just shows you the books think that this guy's going to have a big year. They returned the redshirt senior Eric McAllister, who wasn't even a starter last year, who had 762 yards, 5 touchdowns. He had 8 catches in the first half in their bowl game. They bring in Jordan Dwyer from Idaho, who's coming off a 1,200-yard season and 12 touchdowns with 78 catches in 2024. Don't get me wrong, it's at Idaho University. It's a step down in competition. But I think Sonny Dykes did a good thing in bringing in a couple of these guys. They bring back their duo in Trent Battle and Jeremy Payne in the backfield. They also bring in a UTSA running back who's got a lot of reps. They return 3 out of their 5 offensive linemen who have a lot of experience up front. Return both their edge rushers and Zach Chapman and Devin Deal, who combined for 9 sacks in 2024. Bring back redshirt soft senior Bud Clark, who's their leader in the secondary, had 3 interceptions and 3 pass deflections in 2024. I think TCU, if their win total is at 6.5 right now, I'm going to say it's over, boss. I I don't really want to move on a lot of futures this season, just because my ROI in the past hasn't been good on futures, and I feel like sometimes when I'm betting these games throughout the season, it has me second guessing what I'm seeing. So I think I did something this season that I'm not going to make any futures on win totals. I am going to make some big, some long shot futures to make the college football, like TCU to make the college football, or not TCU, Texas Tech to make the college football playoff at plus 400 looks good. There's spots I'm going to move on. Here, I think TCU takes care of business against North Carolina in week 1. I know it's going to be a road game in NC, but I think that the best player on probably the field offensively is going to be Josh Hoover in that game. And he's got receivers he can throw to in this offense it literally caters to him. They've literally designed it around Josh Hoover. It's just if he can not make mistakes, I think maybe the sky's the limit for this kid this season. We'll see. I'm really excited to see what Josh Hoover can do. If he can live up to the hype, we'll see. Because this guy, he's kind of high on some draft boards this year. He's high in the Heisman candidate race. It's going to be fun to watch. TCU, I think they're pretty successful. I think they go over that 6.5 wins for sure.
Trust me, guys. I'm telling you, the media effect over sports and sports betting is really at an all-time high. Because we've read quarterback, and we,
Yeah.
there's so many good things. Somebody has to win and somebody has to lose. And it was a lot of bad spots that we did early season last year, and it's going to be some more this year. But the thing is to beat the bookies, so you got to hit them in spots where they're not expected. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to my man Moose. Hey, if you listening to the show and you're not in the chat, or you don't view the chat over here on YouTube, get on over here because my man Moose is spitting all kinds of gems in the chat. And my man Snizzle in the house. Snizzle gives a big shout out to my man Wine. Says love the knowledge that Wine Time brings to the Who-Bangin fam. Much love, my brother. I know we're gonna kill it this season. Don't forget about the boss. Sets it up well for my man Wine. Man, I set it up.
Sir.
Well. Don't be hating. I'm just kidding. One love with my man X, man. Let's move to the next team, man. BYU right here, coming off a big 11-2 season. Kalani Sitake returns his 10th year, returning 5 on offense, 4 on defense. The element of surprise was real for BYU moving over into the Big 12. If you look at the season before last year, BYU always take good games out of conference, and they just be testing the waters to see where they can blend in. But BYU is like a military team that's not a military team. For a lot of factors, it's grown men on the field. The defense is always aggressive, and whenever they can get the offense going, it helps. But this year we have a big old scandal with the quarterback thing.
Yep.
It's crazy. I thought you had to be Mormon to go to Utah. To go to BYU.
10 years ago, boss, you did. 10 years ago, you needed to provide an address to go to the high school you want to go to. Nowadays, they let you go anywhere in California, man.
Yeah, I didn't know, but this guy did some things. Ended up at Notre Dame. Ain't that something? But I'm gonna look at that as media hype because what Satake does over here, he does it well year in and year out. He has the guy over there, Brock Bachmeier's little brother, right?
Yeah.
He has Bachmeier's little brother, and Bachmeier was pretty good. Maybe he didn't end up where we wanted him to, but a lot of times the older brother don't. It's the younger brother that comes in and really shows all of everything. So I expect big things out of BYU. This probably like a lot. I made a lot of money last year on the element of surprise. Teams going over in the new conferences, in the Big 10, in the Big 12, and also in the SEC. This year, I don't expect to make a lot of money off of those edges, but this is a team that I think the element of surprise is still live in the Big 12. It'll take 2 more years or so before all the teams in the Big 12 understand these guys are a lot older than us. These guys are a lot. Some of these dudes got families and kids. and after the media stuff, girlfriends on the side and everything. So I think that's our biggest edge with BYU is meeting up with teams that never played them before because they're a rough team to go against. Now, going further in the big games like we seen last year, when you try to move up a little bit more, they don't quite got it to make it over. Maybe they can win one college playoff game, but that's about it. If they make it to the playoffs at some time, which they could, because they could dominate because of the age and the aggression, and if the coaches and the other teams don't catch up, then they can beat you. But speed and talent is their Achilles heel, right? You run into teams with a lot of speed and talent. These guys are older. These guys got more energy. They can go 4 quarters. These guys are trained regularly, so they can't go 4 quarters because they're grown. And these young guys are just full and ready to play 4 quarters, all out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's where I'm at with BYU. So I do like them. I'm definitely going to be betting on them. I can also see BYU. Take a look at the schedule. Going 5-0. What you think about that, Wine?
I got to look at the schedule here now that you said that, because I'm looking at this program from the outside in right now, boss, and there's not a lot I really like. Yeah, they got Bachmeyer's, I think his brother at wide receiver, and the true freshman in Bear Bachmeyer, the quarterback too, coming in as the 3 or 4 star product from Marietta, California. Both these kids coming from California. I'm guessing he came over here because his brother went here. I need to look and see what BYU's schedule is really quick here, because I don't know, man. I'm looking at this roster, and I think they only take a step backwards here. Can't really find it, so not going to really look at it too hard here. But looking at their depth chart right now, guys, I mean, you've got McKay Hillstead as the projected starter from Utah State. Don't like a lot what I see. I didn't like a lot what I saw from this Utah State team last year. I think Jake Redslop really had some heroic fourth quarter comebacks, just plays that highlights that you don't really see too often, that probably wouldn't have happened if they were playing over again. He made a lot of miracle plays here, and I think this BYU team only takes a step backwards, boss. It is crazy to say that, though. I mean, we're talking about BYU. This is why I like the Big 12. We're talking about BYU right now, maybe not even being a 6-win team, but I could probably see them being a 6-win team as well. And we're not even halfway through the Big 12 conference. That's how good I think this conference is. These are some fun teams that we've talked about already that have some pretty good high ceilings going into the season that could have good years. BYU, this over under 7.5. I'm going to say I'm going to take the under. I think it's going to be an under spot, but I got to see it from the eye test, especially in the first couple weeks. They've got a weak schedule to start. I get it. It's going to be interesting to see for sure. I got to see the quarterback situation. I don't have a lot of tape on this guy, so can't give a great take on him. But yeah.
Yeah, you gonna learn about this BYU team the hard way, like I did a long time ago. It's been the same BYU team, it seems like, for 30 years. But yeah, I told you it's a military team that's not in the military. You don't know who the next running back, quarterback, whatever it is for the military. They just keep producing players that keep getting the job done, and that's what's gonna happen with the BYU team. But let's keep it going. My man Moose Money is all over that one too. He's not high on BYU. Thinks it's really bad. They lost the quarterback, in the spring, but it's a lot of time from the spring to actually play in the first game. You talk about maybe, let's say, May, June. You still got July, August time to. And then players are coached up during the season too. Don't forget about that. Some teams get better as the season goes along. So
it's all about the kind of time. I mean, yeah, you don't get a lot of time with these quarterbacks, but it's all about the time, I guess you could say, you could put into these players with the time that you have. If you can put good time in with them in the couple months that you have, something special could happen. I truly believe that now. You got to be open to coaching and to learning the system, because we're seeing a lot of guys come into like guys like Nico Imalava. I mean, you've seen Tino. Tino was saying too. He was saying like it's all about the information that I give him and the time that we do it and that we attack it. That when we attack the time we have together, we do it 110%, and we'll get to where we need to be. Easier said than done. Don't get me wrong, but just some fun to add to it, I guess.
I feel you. Let's keep it moving though. Next up, Cincinnati Bearcats. Scott Scatterfield. Can you spell hot seat? You know what I'm saying? He's sitting on the hot seat in his third year, which I don't really like because get a guy at 4 years. But so he has to show improve on his third year. He has 7 on offense returning and 8 on defense. Last year he went 5-7. Um, just a lot of stuff going on over here. This team could sway either way, but I just have to sit back and watch this team. Brendan Scoresby at quarterback. I don't know. A lot of this stuff that he's used the transfer portal, the overall, and that's what these guys are doing. You mentioned they on the high seat. They go get 30 transfer players, and we're gonna bring everything in the kitchen sink on my last year if I got to lose this job. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of a shit show to me. Um, but overall, what is that? Quite a few returners overall, 18 returners, something like that. 7 and 8 is the starting part of it. So it's a lot of little ups and downs with this team, but nothing consistent that I can find as a hard edge to why they're gonna do this or how they're gonna do that. It's kind of something that I gotta hang on to my seat and see how it plays out. You got anything to sell me on the Cincinnati Bearcats?
I love Cincinnati going into this year, boss. This wasn't a team I was excited to cap about by any means. My guy Moose in the chat was like, one time, do me a favor and cap Cincinnati and text me afterwards. I texted him. I was like, wow, like this is just, it's crazy. I love capping this team. This is one of the most fun teams to cap. I like their over 6.5 wins at plus 120. I think that's easy money in the bank here. I think they easily win 8 games here this season. I think it starts with Nebraska at home in Cincinnati. It's going to be a hostile environment. The Cincinnati team, I like the direction they've gone this last offseason. Brendan Scoresby, he looked good at times throughout the season. He wasn't very consistent. He's got a good arm, though. He's got a good stature. They do lose their wide receiver core to the portal, but bring in a new wide receiver core, including senior wide receiver Jeff Caldwell from FCS Lindenwood. This kid is long and lengthy, and he won the most outstanding player in the offensive player in the FCS in 2024. This guy's ceiling is through the roof. He's a big target. He's going to get he's going to get involved in the run game a lot. He was clocked at a 22 mile per hour speed in spring camp, guys. This is a guy that's 6'5", 210 pounds. That's light for 6'5", but this is a guy 6'5" running at that speed with the ball in his hands. That is very scary. Very scary. They bring in Tyree Walker, 5'9", 220-pound bowling ball running back from Wisconsin. You guys know me. I was a big fan of this guy last year. He's the RB1 in Wisconsin. He looked good as well at times. They returned their senior tight end and Joe Royal, 6'5", 255, coming off 50 receptions, 521 yards, and 3 touchdowns. This guy's potentially a top. He could be in the first round. I'm going to say he's going to go in the second or third round in this year's NFL draft. That's the ceiling this guy has. I like everything the Cincinnati team is doing, and I think they take care of business against Nebraska money line. You can get them at over plus 200, I believe, right now on the money line. I haven't moved on it yet. It's a spot I'm going to move on them plus 6.5, and I'll sprinkle the money line. But I think Cincinnati takes care of business in that one. I like what Cincinnati's done this last offseason, and I think they only get better. And I think that it's already set in stone. They're going to win a minimum of 8 games this year, maybe even 9. We talked about, I don't know how many teams, boss, and these are teams that are like probably in the preseason rankings, ranked from top to finish. And the fact that I have Cincinnati winning 8 games and we're halfway through here at this point, it's pretty crazy. I think that they can have a good season, though.
I feel you. I feel you on that 100%, man. But I don't know. Those Cincinnati Bearcats, I don't know. But I like the breakdown now. You know what I was just thinking as we're going along? It's been like, it was like 3 or 4 quarterbacks already, and we only halfway through. They're like, oh, this guy Heisman material. This guy is that.
Yeah.
If they got 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 in the Big 12, how many is in the SEC? And how many is in the Big 10? And how many is in the ACC?
Not met.
And then how many of them can actually win the Heisman? Or how many can, I think the media is definitely pumping these teams up a lot more than they should. I mean,
we still haven't talked about one of my favorite quarterbacks in the Big 12 yet, which is Chris. We're going to talk about him here shortly, though. So,
but I ain't gonna hold this up. Let me keep us going. I could go on my sour rants for a long time.
But, me and Boss could sit up here for hours and talk about college football, guys.
Right, and we'll probably end up talking about other stuff too. And
Yeah.
it'll go even longer. But Lance Leipold last year 5-7, returning 5-5. Um, strong offensive line coming back in the game. Jalen Daniels though. Now that quarterback right there, he's a local guy. I think Sarah High School.
Yep, he
Um,
is.
he has a lot of
Warren.
potential. Like if he could, he's one of those really good players. If we can only keep him healthy. His biggest thing is getting injured. Every time he goes down, they lose. And when he come back, they win. But last year, when he went down, he came back a lot later in the season. Teams were a lot more hungrier, and he didn't do as well. But this year, if we can keep this guy healthy, maybe they beef him up a little bit, make him hit the weight room a little bit more. If we can get y'all ain't now, see we are talking about great quarterbacks. Y'all ain't knowing this guy has I don't know what is he a sophomore or a junior or what, but he does well this year. And yeah, one of those big schools are going to try to transfer him over to. You can see him at a SEC, Big Ten for sure, big deal school. But I really high on Jalen Daniels, always have been. But I don't know. A bowl game, yes. Playoffs, no. Conference championship, no. But that's just how I see him. How about you, Wine?
And it's crazy to say that. That's how competitive I think the Big 12 is this year. I like Jalen Daniels. He's a local guy, as you mentioned. He was actually coached by the same kid that coached my kid, Max Barbie, over at he was coaching him at Wilson last year. The school he was at before that wasn't Warren High School. It's somewhere in that Long Beach area. I forgot what school it was exactly. If someone could bring that up in the chat, I would appreciate that. Once I see the name, I'll know. But Jalen Daniels, this guy has got every tool, boss, to be a first-round draft pick in the NFL. If he can get his consistency under control in the passing game, the sky's the limit. This guy's got good size. He's got elite speed. This guy can take off and run with the ball. He's very explosive. This is year 5, boss, for Jalen Daniels in the Kansas City, in Kansas. This is his last year, pretty much. So it's go big or go home. And I think it's go big this year. I think Kansas only gets better. I made some good money back in Kansas in the second half of last season. Kansas had a very tough start to the schedule by losing a lot of close games. They lost, I don't think they lost more than one game by 10 or more points, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. They do lose their Big 12 All-American cornerbacks to the NFL. They return Jalen Daniels, as I already mentioned. They can Jeff Grimes, the OC. They bring in Jim Zebrowski, who's been the OC slash assistant OC slash quarterback coach for the last 40 years. This guy knows Jalen Daniels very well. He knows the strong sides, and I think his offense is going to work around Jalen Daniels. Yes, Jalen Daniels was hurt. He had surgery. He missed spring camp. He got with these guys a lot in the office. There's not a lot to do out there in Kansas, guys. It gets hot out there. These guys are at the football field. They're at the facility. They're training together. They're hanging out. Jalen Daniels makes good money from the NIL. He's taking these guys out. They've got a brand new wide receiving core. Cam Pickett, who played a ton at Ball State. They do grab redshirt senior running back out of Iowa and Le'Shawn Williams. He was the Iowa leading rusher the year before Caleb Johnson took over. This guy was the running back one, and Caleb Johnson took his job. He ends up leaving Iowa and comes over to Kansas. I think this is a great pickup for him. They've got a very experienced offensive line. All these guys are fifth-year guys pretty much on the offensive line. I like Kansas this year, boss.
Yeah, I want to see the kid do good. The guy, he's out of Lawndale, not Sarah. He's Lawndale. They right next to
Lawndale. That's it. Yep, that's it.
Lawndale. That's a really small school to be coming out of, though. But
it is, but like his coach right now is coaching with Deshaun Jackson over at Delaware State. He's the running back slash secondaries coach, but he was the head coach, and Deshaun Jackson was his OC at my kid's school last year at Wilson, and they took Wilson all the way to the CIF finals. Wilson had never been to the CIF finals in the history of high school football for them. It's unfortunate that they were one and done over there. I wanted to see them build something over there at Wilson, but it is what it is. You get job offers when you do well, and you got to take advantage of them.
Absolutely. Let's keep it rolling, man. Here go the other Texas school that did the same thing the other Texas schools did, and that's Houston, who's doing the same thing Texas Tech do. They brought in a whole bunch of money. They brought in a new DC, a new OC, and they brought in this dweeb that I don't really like much, Connor Wegman from Texas A&M. And I don't think that guy is gonna be too great over there with Willie Fritz. Second year, returning 9-7. Last year went 4-8. I don't know. I'm just like, you know, sports betting has a lot to do with numbers and all that stuff. A lot of stuff just has to do with your gut feeling and your experiences and stuff like that. And this Houston team, for for the times I've been to Houston, from betting UFL and XFL with the Houston team, the people of Houston, I mean, they almost was paying people to come to those UFL games in Houston, and they've had a team there for years. And it's at the University of Houston. It's in the local area where people can show up. They can't get the people in the seats and in the stands. They can't get the community to buy in on Houston University. They're too busy with the Houston Texans. People in Houston are fine with repping the Texans. The Texans are doing well right now, so that's where they focus is, not on this Houston team who cracks open the bank, pulls out the money. They have a new renovated stadium as well.
Yeah, they do.
But they got to get the people in the stand. So that's just a lot going on. I don't know what type of miracle it's going to take over here at Houston to really get the thing going. They thought Willie Fritz would do it last year. He did start off with putting his foot down just a tad bit. But a couple injuries, just a little bit of adversity, and the whole show went downhill. And I can see that happening again right here, because like I said, it doesn't have nothing to do with X's and O's or, really the player, and all this kind of stuff. It has to do with the overall experience of being at that school, people supporting you, the school making money and all that. Because this is the entertainment business, y'all. If you're not hitting on those levels, then you're just really spinning your wheels. And they're trying not, they've been spinning their wheels. They're trying not to. They're trying to get more quality people in there, whatever, and it's still not bringing people in the stands. I mean, seriously, they had like a $10 family pack in UFL.
I know.
You can get to the game, hot dogs and drinks and everything, your whole family for $20.
Free parking.
Yeah, and a concert outside the stadium at the same time. So
fireworks show after the concert.
Yeah, it was like all the vendors are buying in. Because some schools, they don't even buy into the community around them like that because they're so strong within the school. They're buying into the community and everything on the outside. They're letting moms and pop shop put up food stands and stuff on the school and everything, and it's just not still getting people in the stands at all. So I'm not gonna go deep into the X's and O's on this because a couple injuries and I'll be feeling like I told you guys a lie. But I'm not too hot on Houston. Tell me something good about Houston. Why?
One good thing I can tell you guys about Houston is a guy named Dean Connor. He's a JUCO product, one of the top JUCO products coming out of JUCO, and then he ended up going to Rice afterwards. This guy can line up in the backfield at receiver or at running back. He had nearly 1,600 rushing yards, 16 touchdowns, and 900 receiving yards, 5 touchdowns in his career. This guy could be a breath of fresh air for this Houston offense. It's just if he can compete at the Power 4 level. Willie Fritz, he always does better. I mean, he's been known for inheriting programs and building them from the ground up. I just think Houston was too tough of a job for him. I think he had it really good at Tulane, and he must have wanted the money because Houston must have had some money to throw to him, which is kind of surprising because you mentioned it. I mean, no one goes to their games, and this home field advantage is nothing. And this is Houston, Texas. This is Texas football. You know what I mean? Like, people should be going to Houston games, but yet you can't get people in the stands. That's where I think they're going wrong. Maybe Willie can get them there this season. Maybe he has this fan base a little more dialed in and ready to go this year. You bring in Connor Wegman from Texas A&M, definitely an upgrade. You know what I mean? He's definitely an upgrade from what they had before. He could make every throw on the field. It's just the SEC level, he couldn't really be an elite quarterback. He can't go out there and win you 8 to 9 games. Can he win you 5 or 6 games here in the Big 12? Maybe. Maybe they do get to 5 or 6 wins here. I'm not high on this Houston team. I won't take too much of your guys' time on this team. But I think that I think they improve from 4 wins. I think they can win 5 or 6 games.
That's what's up. I mean, I'm sure they can get to 5. A bowl game, maybe. Um, Championship, absolutely not. Playoffs, absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? So y'all get y'all money. Next up, UCF night, where our guy Scott Frost returns um, for his first year, returning 4 on offense, 6 on defense. He hit the portal pretty heavy, brought in a new defensive coordinator. This team was just they were losing like third downs. They just kind of shoot themselves in their foot compared to that UCF team that we've seen years ago now that was so well. They just haven't been able to get things back to that level. And the school's trying to get it there, but it's really not happened. So they're gonna continue to develop the run so they can open up to the pass. But a whole lot of question marks all over this UCF team. There could be a surprise element of them, coming with Scott Frost, him changing things up. There could be a slight surprise element in there. But I mean, other than that, it's not much that I'm really excited about for UCF. But I wish my man Big Ragu was here because Big Ragu lives not far from UCF. So
Yeah.
he just could tell us the temperature over there. What you thinking? Why?
I mean, boss. I mean, when you bring in Scott Frost and when Scott Frost brings in Alex Grinch, I mean, what could go wrong? What could go wrong at a Power 4 level? These guys should be somewhere like, I don't know, the FCS level. Scott Frost, this is second stint with the team. Had a lot of bad things to say about the Nebraska program. This is kind of crazy. He brings in Alex Grinch. I mean, the safeties coach from Wisconsin last year. We know where he was before that. And that was the DC at USC, where he had when he was going to visit these kids, he had a checkbook in hand saying, what do you guys want? I'm going to write it down right here. I'm going to put my signature. You're going to take it to the bank and cash it because they're giving me whatever money I want to have you guys come in. It's going to be up to me to run a defense. And he couldn't do that. He couldn't do it at Oklahoma. He couldn't do it at USC. He was a great safeties coach at Wisconsin last year. Don't get me wrong. I think that's where his job is the safeties coach, safeties, linebackers. He's going to be the LB / DC here calling the plays. Scott Frost, I don't know if this guy fits in modern day college football. I've heard nothing but bad things about this. They've got FAU transferring Cam Foucher and bring back Ja'Cory Brown. Last year, it's a 3 quarterback battle here for UCF. They grabbed 4 receivers in the portal that have had success at the FCS level. But again, the FCS level, this might be one of the worst teams, I don't know, in the Big 12. I think they could start off 3-0, and they might not win another game, boss. Like, I think that they could legit start 3-0. Their only other win would be against Oklahoma State at the Bounce House because I know the Bounce House is a hostile environment. But at the same time, you need a team to go out there and win you ball games, and you need a coaching staff to call the right plays. I don't trust Scott Frost, and I don't trust Alex Grinch. Steve Cooper, on the other hand, don't get me wrong, he's probably one of the better hires, I think, for this program. Alex Grinch and Scott Frost, I can't trust these guys, boss.
Yeah, I feel you right there. We got a special guest in here, man. I got to bring my guy in here. I really appreciate him. One of my favorite co-hosts. Man, what happened to my damn mouse?
Shout out to Dutch Boy Fresh in the house, too.
Here we go. Let me get over here and switch this up so I can bring my guy in. I don't think I've ever been on a college football show with this guy right here. But today, we get my man Ick Snizzle in the house from the land. What up, down?
What up, though? Hey, DJ, though, we did do one. You had me interview you.
Oh, yeah.
And that was dope. But that was dope.
I do remember that.
I had to come through. Shout out to Wine Time. I see my guy over there drinking shots. He's drinking shots casually, breaking down all sorts of good stuff with my main man, where I first learned to really, truly love and break down, get my college info, the boss and the sauce. Way back in the day, original OGs, triple OGs, the boss and the sauce. And now we got Wine Time up in the house. Sorry, it's a little dark, but we take the cork top off. I go leave you hanging, brother. Let's go.
Let's go.
Cheers.
such a gentleman with the jack.
Is that Woodford Reserve right there, Rick?
That's Woodford. Yep.
Oh, Woodford.
Yeah.
Okay, I
On
look
the
like
bottle,
gentleman jack. Well, Woodford. That's
Oh, wait, that's
shout out to
92.
my guy and a big salute to my guy Dutch in the chat, man. You
Man,
already know.
shout out to Dutch.
Dutch always got a home over here
Hey,
with us, man.
hey, he's an OG Who-Banger himself.
Yeah, but
Come on now. Come on now.
my
DJ,
man Moose.
let him know how deep the fucking, the
Oh,
water
man.
flows.
Shit, the water goes all the way back to Ski Profit in my living room floor on the camera for the first time. We really want to
Oh,
break it
yeah.
down, but that's just one of many. But absolutely, my man Dutch. Respect to my man Dutch though, because me and Dutch, we sat down, we talked about what we was getting ready to do or how he wanted to do it. I put things together to where it was of his liking. He got in, he did the work. We got the responses that we wanted, and he got to where he wanted to go. And now you can catch him every morning on the sesh with my man Dabby Cab over on Pub Sports, and that's a great show, man. I you can try to imitate that show, but that show is that show. You can't even mess with it.
Right.
You know? So pull up on Mondays in the morning and shit. Have a good time with our guys on the
Shout out
sesh.
to Doherty, Nicholas Handy, Moose,
Yes,
Money,
sir.
Dutch, everybody that's come through in the chat, and everybody that will be rewatching this. You know it's nothing but love from the Who-Bangin fam. And make sure while you're getting this brief little commercial break from your boy Sniz, that you, if you can, find your way to Atlantic City, September 18th through the 22nd, where we will be doing our second official Who-Bangin meetup. All right, we did the Vegas one. The live for Vegas meetup was top notch. Shout out DJ Big Boss. Come on now, it couldn't have been any better. But oh wait, can it? I think it can. Atlantic City, East Coast, here we come. We've done Texas with the homies. We've done Cali. We've done Vegas. We've done all that. It's time to go out east and let them know that the East is still the beast. That's where the original rap comes from. And we're going to get it done like KRS-One. Bada bing, bada boom. We'll see you soon. The 18th through the 22nd. Atlantic City.
AC,
baby.
Atlantic City, man. That's a crazy thing because some great cappers that's in some great places now back in the day. When we first started popping around, they were like, man, y'all got it so easy on the West Coast, man. Y'all need to come over here to the East Coast, man.
Hey, it's gonna be fucked up for y'all, right? You won't have college football till noon.
Yeah. I'm already planning on
That's
adjusting on that. That's why we're gonna have
sleep in.
we're gonna have breakfast with Boston and Sauce at like 10, 11 o'clock. I'm gonna be up since 6. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be going crazy. But yeah, it's gonna be.
Oh yeah, I didn't want to interrupt your show, but I had to come through and show some love. You know what
you already know where you at. You already know where
Let's
you
do
at.
one more before we out. What wine time? What you sipping on? Some rum?
I got that Captain Morgan with a little vanilla spice.
Ooh, that sounds really good. That sounds really good.
That's that
Especially
expecting
with
dad
a vanilla
drink.
Coke or something.
Hey, that's that expecting dad drink.
Yeah, facts. Right.
Oh, so there's good news.
Oh, and he chased you with a Red Bull. Oh man, you're good dad material, sir.
Oh shit! So is it official?
Yeah, it is.
Like
yeah,
a referee whistle.
Oh, okay. If you smash from the back, it's gonna be a boy. If you went missionary, hey, start figuring out a good name for her.
Oh, they already got the name. They already got the name.
Amelia Marie.
Yeah, you were doing a missionary, but you know what? There's none but love.
Cheers to you.
I love you guys, man. That's such good news when we need good news. You know what I'm saying? Life gives you ups and downs, but that's fucking blessed news, and I'm so happy for you.
Haven't posted it yet, but yeah, I'm once.
Well, you heard it here first. Bada bing.
Hey,
yeah,
we love you guys, man. Keep doing your thing. Thank you for letting me join real quick. I'll let you get back to it. I love what you guys are doing, and I can't wait for Ragu to join you guys as well. See you in AC, motherfuckers. Let's go. Bada bing.
Let's go.
Love you, brother.
Bada
Good
bing,
shit.
bada boom.
Shout out to Ix Snizzle, man. That's my
Yes, sir.
guy right there, man. I got to kick it with Ix Snizzle a couple times in San Antonio, and he makes the trip better every single time. I remember last year I hit him up and I was like, "Yo, you got to go. I'm gonna send you the picture of the prices to get there." And he was like, "Shit, if you're telling me to go, I gotta go." And he literally showed up there. So shout out to Ix Snizzle, one of the best people to meet in person, man. Really good, really good soul, really good heart right there. Shout out to Ix
The
Snizzle.
definition of a class act right there. That's a class act right there, my man H.
And I know when I go to Cincinnati, and I know when I go to Cleveland, Ohio, I know where I'm gonna be.
For sure,
I know who I'm gonna be kicking it with. It's gonna be my guy Ix Snizzle right there.
Absolutely. Let's keep it moving though, man. Let's jump over to the Colorado Buffaloes. This is kind of a shit show. I mean, I have the best expectation for him. When you're dealing with young athletes, motivation is like a key part of the game. And Dion can give them motivation for 24, 48 hours straight without even taking a drink of water. So they have the potential to be hyped up and coached up to play out of their mind at times. So I think they're going to shock us maybe here nor there. But the longevity of that has no longevity to it. I like to see an offense without Shador in it and see exactly how we adjust on that level. But, you know, on the offensive line right here in Colorado, they tried to do everything to fix this line. It ain't worked. They did bring in Warren Sapp on the defensive line, and he got some quick results. You know, I think they do a 3-man front over there. I can't remember. I think they run a 3-man front, which is really good because once you really get a 3-3-5 going with a good nose guard, and you could really say that front three can at least slow down that front line or slow down anything coming out of there, then that's when you get the cooking with the 3-3-5. But I don't know right here, man. I don't want to say I want to count them out, but I can't count them in. And I don't see longevity in this team. I mean, if you look at this team last year, the last, let's say, 4 games or something like that, I mean, they started to actually drag their feet a little bit because, you know, doing all those theatrics and trying to play at a high level because of motivation week in, week out, it's not going to work. Like, how many times can I say, win? You know, how many different, I guess my man Moose, he's a teacher, he can help us. How many different kind of ways can we say play hard and, you know, stuff like that before it becomes repetitive? So I don't know if the motivation thing will work. Dion has some coaching skills with individual players, and he has really good defensive players. He develops them well, but the offense has just been a question mark since Jacksonville State. And you know, I get in all these Shador talks because everybody want to ask me about how do I feel about Shador, and I tell them we was betting unders on Jackson State 4 years ago, and what was it in Dion's second year or something at Jackson State, and we rode those unders out because the teams are all defense and the offense wasn't that great, and you know he leveled up to go to Colorado, and I don't know. They say that he might have went ahead and grabbed that $30 million deal at Colorado because he might not have a job nowhere else. I mean, Florida State doesn't want him no more. So where would Dion really fit in as a coach? And you know, my guy's got some little health issues that he's working through, and that kind of dampens everything as well. I'm pretty sure that affects the overall thing over there. So not too high on Colorado, and not gonna jump in the fire and bet a future under on them or nothing like that. I don't know. I don't see no true angle in the game. I mean, we could go back to overs because they scored a lot of overs, or we could say that maybe this year he has a defense and develops an offense, and maybe more on the defensive side. But I don't know. We really have to see. Now, if you look at this time of year last year with this team, Instagram, TikTok, you've seen all kinds of videos.
You don't see it anymore.
You don't see none of that stuff. So I don't know. It's just like a huge question mark, and it could be intentional. It could be that they don't want us to show to see. So Dion could be over there cooking up something, but he could be cooking up a whole lot of shit. How you feel about Colorado, man?
Yeah, shout out to my guy Moose. He said Warren Sapp for president. Yeah, much Warren Sapp over Marshall Falk, who's their running back coach. That guy doesn't got a lot of good things to say, but shout out to him. But with that being said, here it's tough for me here, boss. I don't know. You mentioned it. I mean, last couple of years we've seen so much hype going into the season. Coach Prime, Shador Sanders, Travis Hunter, all that hype's kind of gone. We saw Deion Sanders have, those offseason troubles with his health. I think moving forward, he's not going to get in better shape. He's only probably going to get in worse shape. I mean, it's kind of clear he played multiple sports. When he was in his 20s and 30s, you know what I mean? This guy is kind of worn down to the ground, and I don't know how much motivation really there is for him at this point. Being the coach at Colorado, shout out to my guy Moose. I know he's a big Colorado guy. It's tough here. Can they go on? Can they take Georgia Tech at home in that primetime matchup? I don't know. It's tough. They open up at a +4.5. They're down to a +4 right now, and I can only take Colorado in that spot because when I look at that spot, I think Georgia Tech is a much better team. But why are they only a +4.5? There's no hype around Colorado like there used to be. Caden, Julian Lewis is not going to be the quarterback of this team. It's going to be Caden Salter. It's clear cut. I mean, Julian Lewis, we might not even see him play this season. Maybe very rarely, but maybe we even see Ryan Staub in there more so than him, and they give Julian Lewis a red shirt. Julian Lewis is making plenty of money. I don't think he has a problem sitting behind the much better experienced quarterback in Caden Salter coming over in his final year of eligibility. Why would he come to Colorado? Because he knew he was going to get the job. He knew he was going to be able to beat out Julian Lewis. I don't know. I look at Julian Lewis's high school tape, and it's not impressive. His highlight tape is surrounded by big-time play abilities by his playmakers around him. He got guys with the ball, and they worked. And I never saw one deep pass when I looked at Julian Lewis's tape. And I question, honestly, his ability. I don't think he was a five-star quarterback. I mean, there's a lot of better quarterbacks out there that didn't get as rated as high as this guy. But I think he did commit to Colorado because it is Deion. Deion wants to get to the next level. He couldn't get his son to the next level. He got them drafted in the 4th round and undrafted. I'm not sure how much credibility Deion Sanders is. I don't know. It's a tough spot. Can Colorado, with no hype around them, be better this year? Maybe. Because to me, in Week 1 matchup against Georgia Tech, a team that I think is really high up in the ACC, I think Colorado actually beats them outright. And I'm saying that, and I'm like, then why am I not high on Colorado? I just have to see it, I think. I have to see it in person. Warren Sapp, I like everything I'm hearing from him. Musa sent me his interviews and stuff, and I love what he's doing over there with the defensive pass rushing game. I believe that's his job in this defense. It's a tough spot. I'm probably going to be on Colorado in Week 1 against Georgia Tech, though, I can tell you that. I'll probably take them on the money line to win outright. Maybe Caden Salter can show us something that maybe he has more of an ability than Shador Sanders, and maybe he uses his legs a little bit more because we know that that's what he likes to do. So it's going to be interesting. It's a tricky spot, boss. I don't want to be on this too much longer.
Yeah, and I'm a Moose in the chat, man. Moose, that's one of his teams right there, and he has some good highlights on them. Says it's more of a football team now. Defense improved. They still got receivers, improved O-line. Yeah, like I said, but they kind of ghosted the social media thing. So I don't know exactly, but he does say he's taking them first week at home, and I agree. So I got a buddy who usually gives me like really hot information, really hot information. And first week in Colorado, he said, "Boss, take Colorado at home." He said, "He says it's gonna be bananas in the
I'm
game,
sure it will.
and it's gonna be crazy in the crowd." He said, "Go look up who's all attached to the University of Colorado and how much money they make and they staff."
They've had ever since Deion's came in, their turnouts have been through the roof.
But it was before that. It was before that. They were saying a lot of these rich guys with a lot of money and stuff, they hang out in Colorado. That's where they winter homes or whatever it is. And sure enough, Lil Wayne, all kinds of people showed up to that game. People you didn't even expect were in the stands and stuff like that. And I took that, little gem and I ran with it, and I took Moose just put the numbers out there. What did he say? 5-1 at home last year, 1-1 versus SEC, and 2-0 at home ACS. Yeah, at home is where it's at for Colorado. So I still back him. Like I said, I don't see much going on to really make an educated guess about what we're actually going to see. They kind of been doing it kind of in closed doors. But yeah, I'll take them first week at home.
Yeah. And Moose said
quite a few times at home.
Moose says Boulder is gorgeous, one of the most beautiful places in America. Yeah, that background. I mean, that stadium in Boulder is absolutely like I got to. Me and Moose, I got to get out there for a game one of these days for sure. In these next couple of years, I definitely want to go out to Boulder because it looks like a beautiful place. Looks like a beautiful stadium. Tickets are probably through the roof now. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, shout out to them.
Absolutely. Now over to a team that I don't know how this team slipped so damn far in the Big 12. Not to say they're doing great this year, but this is just a team that the school likes to play football. It's not much to do in Oklahoma, so you might as well do well at football. But my man Mike Gundy, they itching. Could this be a hot seat for Mike Gundy? 21 years down the line, is it time for him to shake, rattle, and roll? He's got 4 on offense, 6 on defense. He's hitting the transfer portal. He's doing everything at the kitchen sink, like all the other coaches that's on the hot seat. So I don't know. 21 years down the line, you have to respectfully let this man go. You can't just toss him to the street, y'all. But I don't see much on the King. I couldn't. Some of these low teams, they give less information sometimes. But it's nothing I've seen very exciting about this. The only thing that really shocked me was the fact that they were hitting the portal so hard, and that Mike Gundy might be on the hot seat. You got any factors in this game? Last year they was 3-9 too, so they are coming off a bad year. Sometimes you can only go down so far before you come up. So will they get 4 wins? Maybe 5, maybe. Bowl game, they're gonna have to work hard. What playoffs? No. Big 12 championship? No.
They're getting Oregon in their non-conference. I mean, it doesn't get much tougher than this. I don't like this team going into the season, boss. I won't take too much of the people's time here in this one. I think Mike Gundy was on the hot seat last year. I thought he was going to throw in the towel. I didn't think he was going to get fired. I thought he was just going to say, you know what, guys, enough's enough. I'm going to let you guys go out and put some money into a new coach. He said, no, I'm going to fire everyone on staff, replace my staff with a brand new staff and see what they do going into this year. I don't have too much to say about this, boss. We can go past Oklahoma State. I'm not this team going
yeah,
this year.
we're not going to dry out the airwaves just to dry out the airwaves. And we almost on the same thing in his next tens. Brent Brennan. Now, this is a guy. I like this guy, Mountain West guy. You know what I'm saying? He's known for picking up the least amount of tools and building something nice. In that many words, right? He's in the second year. Last year he went 4-8. First year out, bigger conference. It's a lot moving the conference. A lot of moving parts. Coming behind Fish. A lot of moving parts. But he returned 7 on offense, 9 on defense. Gives him a little something to work with. This guy, he's gonna set the defense in place, and then he's gonna start picking at trying to develop either a running back or a quarterback to try to win games. But you can expect this guy to go right after the defense and overhaul everything. He's doing. You got Danny Gonzalez over there from head coach from New Mexico, and that guy is off the same tier as I can't think of his name, but he comes out of San Diego State's defense. And then remember it's a son and a father, and the father was over there at New Mexico with Danny. And this guy is great against coaching against the option and stuff like that. So just think San Diego State defense when you think Danny Gonzalez. So they're going to be really hard up front. They don't need very huge players. They're fast, and they do those type of things to get ahead of things. So I don't know. It's a big question mark. This guy could freak us all out, but we have to see what they look like on the field before we can make any solid assumptions. What you think, Wayne?
Tough spot for Brett Brennan here, man. Coming over from San Jose State, inheriting this team that Jed Fish left behind. I don't know, man. I just it's a lot of question marks I have about this offense and defense going into the season. I don't have Arizona as playing super well this season going into this year. Let me give you a little bit more information about them. Let me pull them up right here. Brennan enters year 2 as Arizona head coach. Noah Fafita, who can, don't get me wrong, this guy can make every throw on the field at times, it seems like, but it only seems like when he's really into it. It seems like he's got a lot of things going on up here sometimes at times. They grab wide receiver Chris Hudson from New Mexico, who had 840 yards last year. Really good. Chris Hunter, also a guy from Cal in there. They bring in 2 offensive line from the portal to add experience. They've got a very experienced offensive line. They return edge rusher Trey Smith, 6'5", 260. This guy had 4.5 sacks last year in 2024. Coming over from San Jose State. It's tough. I'm not high on this Arizona team. They do bring in Seth Dodge, the Marshall OC in 2024. This guy had nowhere to go. His head coach got pretty much kicked out, and Brett Brennan offers him a power forward job. How do you not take this job coming over from Marshall University in West Virginia? This is a huge upgrade for him. Maybe he can work around Fafita, get this offense more moving around him, so to speak, like it was with Jed Fish. Because when Jed Fish was there, we saw Noah Fafita perform really well. Why didn't Noah Fafita enter the portal and leave? I have no idea why. Maybe no one offered him enough money, because I know Arizona is paying him. I mean, Noah Fafita is making over $1 million this year, without a doubt. He's got that whole private jet sponsorship as well that he had with McMillan last year. This guy's got money, and that's probably why he didn't want to leave Arizona. It's also an affordable place to live out there. So he's also from Southern California. I'm sure he wants to stay over on the West Coast, doesn't want to really go anywhere. Noah Fafita is going to make a living in the NFL at some point in his career, whether he gets drafted or not. I think he does make a roster at some point. This guy's got too much talent not to. He's just undersized. I won't take too much more of the time about
Yeah, I was about to slow you down there, because I don't know about Fafita in the NFL. He's not that good. That guy,
I think he can make a roster.
He was, as a high school athlete, he was the best athlete in a place with nobody else against him. They plug and play them in a couple spots in the college football. He hasn't shown us nothing that say that he's going to the NFL. Why? The NFL, Fafita.
He's got a nice arm at times, but we'll see this year.
He has to roll 10 yards out the pocket to get a window to throw the ball that far. He can't see over that line back there.
That is going to be a downside for sure.
He's Kyler Murray. He's Kyler Murray, and he's not as fast. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I'm not gonna hate on the kid, but it is what it is. I know you're a West Coast guy. You like all these little West Coast guys.
He's a Servite kid. He's a local.
Yeah, I knew it. Let's go to the last team, man. Once again, I want to thank everybody for joining us, man. My man Moose, Ixnizzle, Action Jackson, Andrew, all y'all. Appreciate y'all diving in with us, especially my man Moose. He came up with a lot of stuff in the chat. If you rewatching this, make sure you got the chat rolling. He got some gems. My man Ix said he likes under a lot, especially listening to the breakdowns for all the teams. Look at the second half of their schedule. Yeah, I get it. But this West Virginia team brings back Rich Rod. This is a big thing. I don't know. How do you feel when you take over? Let me know how you feel about coaches returning to their same team. I don't know if I've seen a great success for that. I experienced that with Tedford, a couple other coaches, but I don't know if it's a winning strategy, to bring somebody that you take so long to have them and get rid of them, and then you bring them back. But they're expecting big things. They have a change of scheme over here. Change of scheme usually takes like a year or two to take effect as well. That's why this team is ranked all the way at the bottom. I'm not really sure what was going on. Neil Brown wasn't doing that bad that I think Rich Rod is going to come in and do that much better. It's kind of like a crapshoot. So I don't know. Maybe they're exchanging money here. It could be exchange of money Now that they exchanged the money, they exchanged the people involved with the money. So I don't know. I don't have nothing much to say. It's supposed to be a high pace offense they putting in. The whole roster's overhauled. The defense is starting from scratch. It's just so many different uh, aspects to the game that another team can't. Well, let me see what they're working with. And I hear from my buddy that went to what he went to, one of them Virginia schools. He was like, Virginia is not the place. He like that shit is creepy and boring. He had a almost a wife and everything out there. And when he finished school, he was like, "Hey, I'm going back to Cali. You can come with me if you want to, but I'm not staying here." And she left from Virginia one weekend to hang out with him in Cali and never came back. Shout out to my boy Dion, man. But, yeah, he said Virginia ain't it. So I can imagine that's why we get some of the stuff we get on the field with them. What you think about West B?
No, I'm excited, straight up goofball weirdo. And Rich Rod, yeah, he's a weirdo for sure. He got this job, man. I mean, this is going to probably be the last big job he takes. I'm not sure how well he's going to do here at West Virginia. He is a very hard-nosed coach. We've known that over the years. The guy likes to get on his players. He spent the last couple of seasons at Jackson State. Likes to coach his guys up. He's not afraid to yell at his team. That's for sure. They bring in Texas A&M transfer Jalen Henderson, who's competing with quarterback Nico Markel for the quarterback one position. They do return their running back too. Played well, getting 800 rushing yards in each of the last 2 seasons, 11 touchdowns. They bring in Cam Vaughn, redshirt sophomore, played a lot at Jack State with his coaching staff, had 800 receiving yards and 5 touchdowns in 2024. Rich really brought in, old Dick really came in and brought in a lot of his guys over there from Jackson State. I'm not sure how much that's going to help him in the Big 12 because the Big 12 is going to be a big step up in competition. I don't know, though, boss. I want to get out to Morgantown one of these days. I hear it. Don't get me wrong. There ain't a lot to do out there other than go to West Virginia games. I always said if I go to West Virginia, it's going to be to a Marshall game most likely because I want to see the Marshall Memorial at their university where I saw the movie growing up with my grandpa in theaters. I'll never forget it. I was like 7 or 8 years old. And seeing that those players crashed right there about a mile and a half away from campus, their memorial's all there. It's a really beautiful thing at that campus. I got to get to a Marshall and a West Virginia game at some point. I'm only going to West Virginia probably one time in my life, boss, and it's going to probably be for a couple games, I guess, but not a lot to do out there, but Morgantown is the college town. There should be a lot of hype around here when they play at home. The stadium's going to be jam-packed. We know their fans are going to show up for their ball games. It's crazy. We've talked about the Big 12, and I there's not a lot of teams that I expect really at under 5.5 wins. Like all these teams, there's so many questions to where these teams could do well. West Virginia could have a good year, but I do think that this is probably going to be one of the bottom teams in the Big 12. Won't take too much time up here. We've already broken down the entire Big 12. Rich Rodriguez, though, I mean, I think this is it for him here. He needs to do well here at West Virginia in these first couple of years to keep this job. He's not going to get a better job than this.
No, he's not. He's actually not. So, that just is what it is, man. But yeah, I'd like to see what goes down there in Virginia too. My buddy used to say it's one particular part that's more like city like or whatever is cool, but he said everything outside of that is large mountains and dark roads.
Yeah, it's probably scary out there when you're out there by yourself too. Sure.
But that's about it for us, man. We bust through this 16 team Big 12, man. We did a good job. We did it in under 2 hours, so that was great. We got a lot of great information out there. Shout out to Ig, shout out to Moo, shout out to Dutch, shout out to all the people that showed up and hung out with us. But what you got going on coming into these next weeks and week 0? Next Saturday is week 0.
Man,
in the morning.
Yeah, I'll be excited to break down this card with you guys. Actually look at these games individually and see where we're at on all of them. Excited to hear from Big Ragu. Hopefully we're able to talk to ACC at some point. Boss will probably talk about it these next couple of days. Hopefully we can get ACC in here before regular season because, yeah, guys, I mean, week 0 starts Saturday in Dublin, Ireland. Kansas State, Iowa State doesn't get better than this. They blessed us with a really good week 0, not just week 0, but a week 1 schedule. So these first couple weeks of college football are going to be really interesting compared to other years in past where it's like week 0, there's not a lot of games on the card, but you got Kansas State, Iowa State, 2 ranked Big 12 conference games. Like it doesn't get bigger than that. In Dublin, Ireland, too, it's going to make it that much better. Like I said, I wish they were playing probably at Kansas State or Iowa State so we could have more of a cap on it. It's going to be a lot more difficult to cap the game knowing they're in Dublin, Ireland. But I'm excited, boss. I mean, it doesn't get better than college football for me. There's not a sport I like talking about more with you guys than college football, man. And do a good time doing it, and we make some money. So that's the most important thing. And I'm really looking forward to it.
Me too, man. And it's crazy. I've been doing this for like 10 years almost, and every year it's the same excitement. Like a lot of these videos that I put up and stuff, I don't always get the best responses, but it helps me go through all the teams thoroughly and
Exactly.
go around. So it's like therapy. College football is like therapy. And people say we crazy for betting this shit because it's so volatile, but it's kind of like once you in the loop, you in the loop. So stick with us. We'll keep you in the loop. Tell them about your shows and everything you got going on leading up to the season. Me, myself, I'm probably going to do one show sometime next week on the Mountain West by myself. Just a big boss in the Mountain West. Come sit down with me, come to class. I got a bunch of stuff over there. And Friday, I hope we can get back here on Friday and do the ACC. That way we finished all the Power Four. And then right back after that, Saturday morning, we're going to hop on and just give out our best bet, break them down, and jump up out of there and cash these tickets, man. What you got going, Wine? What time can they catch up with you over there on pubs? What you got going leading up to pubs and all that good stuff?
Yeah, guys, catch me this Sunday on Walk-Off Wagers on Pup Sports. It's going to be 8 a.m. over here on the West Coast, 11 a.m. over there on the East Coast. Break down the entire MLB card. My MLB action is going to be really light coming up these next 2 months. It's going to be tough to cap it. I'm not going to lie. I'm just so excited for college football and NFL. It's actually going to be tough to actually cap all of these sports together. So we'll see on that. But catch me this Sunday, Walk-Off Wagers with my guy Spoons Bets. Break down the entire MLB card. Love doing it with him, and hope we make some money, man. Just love doing this with you, boss. Love doing it with Ragu. I'm sure Doc will be with us next week for ACC, and I can't wait to just talk these games with you guys, man. It's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. We appreciate y'all. My man X came in, and he basically did our whole AC commercial. So I'm not going to play the AC commercial. I'm going to just go ahead and get up out of here. Love y'all. Y'all have fun. See y'all on Friday. Be looking out for other shows and pull up to all our shows. We out of here.
The Boss and the Sauce Show.
Boss and the Sauce Show.
Boss and the Sauce Show.
Boss and the Sauce Show. Here we go.